It's a great view of the table, and you can see all of the people in the room.
It's a great setup.
Worth it.
And the fact that I can hear you from all the way in the back of the room is also fantastic.
And we have the air conditioner running.
Wait, do you really? You can't even hear it.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right, well, let's get started. This is our last meeting before the 4th of July. And there's a ton of stuff that we have planned. There's obviously more that we want to have done, but due to scheduling conflicts and many other things, it was unable to happen. So let's get right into it. So to start, I reached out to Jeff Pelletier, and he is going to attempt to get one, possibly two trucks down at the events for the weekend, which is fantastic. He is also going to supply the fire stand for us to do fire. And I got a donation from Clint Morrow for firewood. And he said he will supply as much as we need for the entire weekend. So that's fantastic news. Big shout out to Clint. He's fantastic. So I'm super proud to say that those two things did happen. As for the craft fair, I did finish the link, which I'll share in just a minute. And I did a test with a local business that is interested in coming to the events. So I'm hoping that they'll make it out. But there is a lot of interest in doing this. I mean, I stop up on Peddler's Hill every week and talk to them, and there are some very excited individuals for this. So I'm hoping that the word is spread here and far for the next 20 days to get the word across. I know there's some people in Patton that are interested, the people on Peddler's Hill. I've even heard of people possibly from Bangor area coming up to do this craft fair. So I'm hoping to make this a first welcome back for everybody and set a precedence for the future that Millinocket is business friendly, and we are welcoming peddlers such as these to our downtown area. And I also think it will be a good first step if we decide to do events like this in the future, like we were talking about for the fall. I think this will set a great tone that we are welcoming these people back. Peter?
Is the craft fair set to happen in Veterans Park? Is that the idea?
No, it's going to happen on Main Street. I have an order which I will screen share shortly that I have drafted to have. Oh, well, you know what? I'll just screen share it now. It's easier to explain if it's up, right? Share screen. Can you make me host again? It won't let me screen share.
Got it.
All right. Okay, so this is the first order that I've drafted. Both orders that I will show you tonight, I have they both have the same packet with them, since they're both very similar orders. I thought it'd just be simpler attaching them to one packet instead of making two separate packets that were going to be extremely identical. So this is the first one. This is for the craft fair, and it says providing for approval to close side streets along Penobscot Ave for the 3rd of July vendor/craft fair. Whereas the events, excuse me. Whereas the events committee will be hosting a vendor craft fair fair along Penobscot Avenue. Whereas the side streets near the end of Penobscot Avenue need to be closed during the event for safety reasons. Whereas 3 side streets will be closed for the entirety of the event, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., which are Birch Street, Poplar Street, and Pine Street. Whereas Penobscot Avenue and Katahdin Avenue would also be closed. It is therefore now ordered that the events committee has permission to close the above mentioned side streets for the 4th of July vendor craft fair on the 3rd of July. So it's gonna run right along Main Street.
Did you?
Did I what?
You say Todd?
So to answer Louis' question, where the Scudic starts is and all the way to the end of Veterans Park would be where most of them would be, considering there's going to be live music. It's just going to be the general area. If we have a ton of support, we have that extra space from the Scudic down to have more vendors. But I thought where there's going to be live music and everything, it'd be fair to have them right up front by Veterans Park. And that whole street will be closed as well.
So I think what we missed was where it says where Penobscot Avenue and Katahdin Avenue meet.
So like that intersection, I don't have a map up right now, but
No. I mean, we interpreted what you said by Katahdin Avenue would be closed rather than we didn't catch that it was referring to where they meet. So totally fine.
Okay, I'm gonna write intersection in there. So that just prevents people from driving. Obviously, the locals. I spoke with Tom about this, and I wish he was here to talk further on it. But the locals, like the owners of the AT Lodge, would obviously be able to park, would be able to drive in and park, but it would be closed to the regular flow of traffic. Now, the second order is very, very similar. That's for recall. That one already passed. This order is for the 4th of July. And this obviously has more side streets because we're doing all of Main Street. But it's providing approval to close the side streets along Penobscot Avenue for the 4th of July parade, whereas the events committee will be hosting the 4th of July parade this year, whereas the side streets along Penobscot Avenue need to be closed during the event for safety reasons, whereas 5 side streets would be closed for the entirety of the parade, including Birch Street, Poplar Street, Pine Street, Spruce Street, and Summer Street. It is now therefore ordered that the events committee has permission to close the above mentioned side streets for the 4th of July parade. And this is Monday. So afterwards, obviously, we aren't doing anything else on Monday. Everyone's going to want to go to camp. That's already been, set in stone. Everyone said, after Monday, camp time. So we're not doing anything after the parade on Monday. There will still be fireworks. They're going to be later Monday night for those that still want to see them. But we're not doing any events in Veterans Park after the parade. Any questions on either order or in general?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. Are you planning to have a vote of approval on this and have these on an agenda for the 23rd?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. These will be in the next town council meeting, which kind of fits as I think it's the last council meeting before the 4th of July, correct?
It is.
Yep. Yes. So that will fit nicely. So hopefully we'll get a good turnout there so people will hear what's going on. Let me pull up the link that I sent everybody to the form. It's very simple. It's only a couple questions. All right. So this is the form. Like I said, it's very simple. I'm signed in on my personal business email. But basically at the top, it's going to say their email. They're going to put their name in, the email that they want any corresponding emails to go to, the name of the vendor, their business name, how many slots do they need. I know we had mentioned last time if they plan on bringing a trailer, that should kind of count for 2 slots. So this will give us a rough idea on who's bringing trailers, who isn't bringing trailers, and how much space they need. Which I think will be great because then, like I said, if we need to move it back, we'll have that extra space that we accounted for just in case. And then obviously the permit, so a vicular's license or a license to sell in Millinocket. I did have Tom look at this. Tom says it looks good. Peter, if you have any recommendations, now's the time to speak. You're muted if you did plan on saying something.
Sorry, it's a long distance and a big screen for a mouse. Can you go to the top again?
Yep.
Vitular.
That looks good to me.
Okay. Like I said, there is already one person who's filled this out. I sent it to them as a test to make sure it would work. But this hasn't been displayed for the public yet. If everybody's okay with it, I'm going to start sending this out tonight, and I'm going to start letting people know on Peddler Sale.
Vitular.
Yeah, vicular license.
Vitular.
So this will go live tonight. I'm hoping to get between 8 and 10 people. If we have more than that, like I said, we have the space to account for about 20 slots, which would be fantastic if we could fill that. But I know that this is our first time coming back. But I want to set a tone that we are business friendly, and we're looking forward to seeing some vendors here in town. And that's basically it for the 4th of July. Some time slots that have been questioned. Tom is currently finding out a time for me on when he wants to perform. He said it's going to be all day. I do know that. Recall is going to perform from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. and possibly even a little sooner. They do like to set up a little early, is what Frank said to me. Sorry. So all of that's already set in stone. I'm coordinating that with Frank.
Vittler.
So we have Frank, we have Recall, we have the Vendor Craft Fair, the Scudic's doing their Cornhole Festival, our Caton's doing something up at the beginning of the mill site for people. That will be really
It is
cool and
no
awesome.
longer happening.
It's no longer happening. Okay, that's news to me.
Yeah,
Is-
they'll probably communicate that more openly very soon about that.
That's probably better though. Why have the crowd wander up to the mill site and back?
Yeah,
Right. What is the Cornhole Festival still happening?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
but the other thing is
Not happening anymore.
supply
Oh.
chain and all that, typical stuff.
Oh, well aware with that. Yep.
Provided a unsurprising extension on the timeline.
One thing that has been mentioned to me, and Peter can confirm this, people have been asking me about the construction that's been happening in Veterans Park. That has all been handled. They're planning on being done. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the 20th. If they are not done, they will have an electrical box there for us to use temporarily for the 4th of July. So there is no concern about electricity in Veterans Park at all. Am I correct?
You are correct. And the only reason that there's question about that, about the panel itself, is because of the unknown lead time, whether or not it will show up. But if the new one is not there, then he has agreed to wire in what was there previously, and then come up and swap it out.
Perfect. So there'll be no interruptions for the 4th of July, thank God.
Correct.
But some people
And
did mention that
additional
to me.
outlets for more, people to take advantage of.
Right. So all of this stuff has been handled. So for those who are concerned about what's going on in Veterans Park, that will not interfere with the 4th of July. So all great news. So that hits the two main things on the list. The next on the list is the event sign. I know we kind of put that on hold. After having a conversation with Peter and Amber, it's kind of moving forward. We're looking for funding right now, and that's kind of where it's at. Amber has possibly located some funding, which is fantastic. So this event sign could be something we see happening realistically in the next year or two. So that's very, very proud thing for me to say. I'm super excited for that. We still haven't pinned down an exact location. We do know it's going to be somewhere around the municipal building. We just haven't pinpointed an exact location yet. There have been multiple ideas, all of which are fantastic. And once we do see some funding, we'll come back and we'll pinpoint where we want to go with it. As for new business, we need to start talking about fall and winter. We started talking about the 4th of July last December, and this is our last meeting, and that's a couple months of work, and we haven't even started on the fall or winter. So we need to start setting some ideas now. I do want to do a hay bale festival, sunflower festival, some kind of festival in the fall, similar to what we're doing for the 4th of July. Definitely not as intense, the parade and everything, but definitely do something for the kids and for the adults. I mean, I love going to events like this. So there have been, last time we talked about doing like a hay bale festival, doing some stuff down on the in Veterans Park. We did get an increase on our budget, which is fantastic. Well, we possibly have an increase on our budget, which is fantastic. So we should have a little bit more of wiggle room to play as long as that budget passes, which is fantastic. So now is the time to start with ideas. I definitely want to do something more with bands. I think we should do instead of having one band, we should have multiple bands. I think that we should invite Recall back. I think we should invite some more local bands back and possibly even some state bands. Ideas, thoughts, concerns, all of the above mentioned.
Yes, I like that. We, I wanted to, I have one more comment regarding this upcoming 4th of July weekend. We
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to make it known.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not seeing the community member online. I had updated her the new time, but I wanted to make it known. I had been approached by a community member with ties to Stearns Assisted Living, and they have some interest in requesting that we alter our grade route so that residents of that building can easily see the parade.
Oh,
It could be a loop at the end of the parade, or it could be, I told this community member that I would mention it during this meeting if she were unable to attend, so that the committee received that message.
They still started to parade up in that hill.
Yes.
On that hill from very little.
hold on, I'm pulling up a map.
If they started like Peddler's Hill or that would be better, I think.
Well, the thing is that there are so many vehicles that, like last year, for example, there were a ton of people that showed up and we could barely fit everybody in the old IGA parking lot. Obviously there is not nearly enough room on Peddler's Hill to support everybody. Plus lining up would be a nightmare. It would interfere with the flow of traffic. It'd be a nightmare lining people up. Then you got to take into account the foot traffic. It would be bad. It's hard enough trying to line people up in the IGA parking lot, let alone on Peddler's Hill.
Just my concern about people that march the parade and adding to the length of it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And maybe, if we do decide to do this, we can start the people on foot down in the old K&M parking lot and have them join in on the parade. That way they're not walking nearly as far, and we can do the loop and it would still be about the same, same
That's a
for
thought.
them anyway. Yeah. So that, I think that's a good idea. And we could just fit them in along the parade.
You could have two groups of the marching. The one's more fit up on Peddler's Hill waiting to jump in, and the ones downtown that can't make it far.
Okay. So
Children and whatever. That's a long way.
Peter, the plan is to come down Central Street Hill and go across Penobscot as we usually do. Are you suggesting that we loop around Katahdin Ave and come back around and then go back on a Central Street, or completely bypass Penobscot and go right to the assisted living? And then loop around?
Well, no, we can't realistically bypass Penobscot Avenue. And I don't have a solid suggestion for this. I offered to her to bring this to the committee if she was unable to attend. But any effort to get over around that stretch where Stearns Assisted Living is could be good. I mean, if it were, what is it, Spruce or what's the name of the street right by Veterans Park, right after the Scudic?
That's Spruce. Oh, Poplar, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's quite an additional stretch to add a loop like that on. So again, I'm
The thing is that it's
posing the recommendation from the community member here.
It's very last minute. I'm definitely willing to work on something. It's going to have to be outside the events committee meeting, obviously. I mean, I can definitely set email chains and stuff. But I mean, if we have a set of people that are willing to, we could loop around go back up Katahdin Avenue and stop right in front of Stearns Assisted Living, or even do a loop around it and then end it right on Central Street. Obviously, these are all ideas right now. I'll think of something up. Let me talk with Tom, because Tom's the expert on traffic, and see if he has a better idea. It's definitely something I'm going to consider. And maybe what we can do is when we're lining up, we can say, hey, just so you know, we do plan on continuing it to Stearns Assisted Living. You don't have to if you don't want to, but we do plan on doing it. These are all things that we can do. But let me talk with Tom when he gets back into town, and see if I can come up with an idea, and I'll send it out via email to everybody. Because it's definitely a good idea. Just it's very, very, very last minute. Okay. Anything else on the 4th of July before we move on? Yes.
Just wondering, do we have it posted somewhere for the schedule of events and what's going on each day?
Yes. So Lissa had drawn up a flyer, and then Design Lab had come forth, and they actually had a flyer that they've been repurposing for years that I did not know about, it's really nice. So we've decided to go with that. Right now, they submitted one in line. It says to be announced, because we didn't have all the dates and times and everything set. Actually, we should probably talk. I forgot about timing. We should probably do that right now. So they do have one out. They are going to submit it online. I will get a copy of it when it's said and done. But I wanted to have this final meeting before I send anything to them, because being
We put it in the local paper, in the Lincoln paper as well.
Peter.
Yes.
Is that something we could do?
Restate the question.
Putting the flyer in the local paper.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so recall is 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then the vendor craft fair is going to be from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And which I think is ample amount of time. Plus there'll be music obviously going on. Mr. Manzo is going to send me his times, but it's going to be all day. So FSM all day. Now start times and end times for the parade. I said that I would like to see, and this is open for discussion, a lineup at 9 o'clock, starting at 9 o'clock, and the parade starting at 9:30, or lineup starting at 9:30 and the parade starting at 10. That way it's not too early in the morning, but it's not too late in the morning. It's kind of right in the middle. Thoughts, ideas, suggestions?
I vote for a 10 o'clock start time.
10 o'clock start time or 10 o'clock lineup time?
10 o'clock start time.
Perfect. I agree.
9:30 lineup. I mean, even more than a half an hour for a lineup might be proper.
I just want to take into consideration East Millinocket, because I know they like to join in on this. So if they're coming from East, I'd like to give them ample time to be there to get here. I know that obviously they could schedule to be there earlier, but being said, it gives a half hour for us to get up there, get coordinated, move people around when we need to. It gives us a half hour to play. Last year, it was a lot of running around last minute, trying to organize people where to go. Just trying to avoid that this year. So I thought instead of 15 minutes, we do a half hour. That way we have ample time to talk to everybody, take photos, get the lineup going, talk with the EMPD about where they're going to be, who's going to be in the front of the parade for EMPD, all those things. It gives us ample time to do everything. And I don't know if there is going to be somebody from the town taking pictures. I will definitely be taking pictures. But if anybody does decide to, that would probably be the proper time.
Yeah, my suggestion was more along the lines of allowing more time for that to happen. Like if we were to suggest that that startup or setup, started at 9. Because I think that we don't want to short sell ourselves on it.
Yeah, exactly. How about a parade lineup of 9:15 and then a parade start time of 10 o'clock? Maybe no, yes. Okay. I see a thumbs up. And parade start time 10 o'clock a.m. Design Lab agreed. Fireworks are kind of up in the air. We can't pinpoint exactly when dusk is going to happen. Of course, we live in the wonderful state of Maine where Mother Nature and time seem to act differently. So we agreed that putting during dusk is going to be the best time to have a time set for the fireworks. So it's going to be at nighttime, but there's not going to be a set time. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of setup. Every year has a different start time. We just never know how it's going to play out. That's also a conversation that I'll have with Tom to see if he has the setup time and if he needs help, and if we can get any volunteers to help him. So recall 7 p.m. to 11, craft fair 11 a.m. to 6, FSM all day, parade lineup 9:15, parade 10 a.m. to end in Veterans Park, possibly ending at Stearns Assistant Living. And do you know the times for the Cornhole Festival, Peter, by chance?
I do not.
Okay, I don't either. I'll reach out to the scooter.
Yeah, either that or even Shell McGinnis over at our Baton could answer that as well, I'm sure.
Perfect. Okay. That's it for the 4th of July. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Back to the fall and winter plan. I heard you say yes to the band thing. I would like to get the schools involved. They wanted to get involved with the 4th of July, and then all of a sudden they disappeared, which is unfortunate because I was really excited to get them involved. So I will do my best to reach out to see if I can get somebody at the school to see if they want to participate, maybe a fall event. Maybe we can do an event right at the school, possibly in the gymnasium for the kids. I just would like to see the school more involved, and I would like to get them more involved. So bands, definitely want to stay on the topic of bands. Someone had recommended possibly doing best house decoration contest. So I know we had mentioned this in past meetings, having like a prize of like $200, $250, 100 to first place, 50 to 75 to second place, so forth. I definitely think that should happen. There's some people that really invest some money into Halloween decorations up here, and I think it'd be fantastic to have like a community competition go on. So I definitely want to see something like that happen. I don't know how you guys feel, but just me personally. And if that does happen, I will personally be investing some money in Halloween decorations. Any comments?
We both like it. I think, right? I love it, and I think that the same for Christmas lights.
I definitely agree with Christmas lights. Definitely agree.
Christmas lights. I want Main Street this Christmas to look like a tunnel of lights somehow, and be an attraction. People
Oh, I bet we can do that.
drive our Main Street.
I bet we can really do that. I see how I like Halloween more than Christmas personally, but I definitely love Christmas. But when I envision Halloween for Millinocket, I imagine hay bales driving down the main street, orange and black lights, some of the businesses sprucing up the storefronts to look kind of I don't want to say dead like, but it look kind of look Halloween like. Like when I went to Orlando, it wasn't just Disney that was doing stuff. It was the whole city. And across the whole state as well. And I would love to see that happen here. More events based around holidays like Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July, obviously we're working on, but Halloween I feel like is such an underrated holiday. Sarah?
When we were kids, and many moons ago, we used to do the storefront paintings, the store windows at Halloween, and had a contest of some type with that, and that would loop in the school kids that you're talking about getting involved. They did some kind of a like at school did a competition with a picture perhaps of their idea, and then they were chosen to be able to get a storefront to replicate that on. So I'm wondering if you could do something like that.
That's a good idea.
That would be downtown,
And what I can do with that is I can go to the local businesses on Main Street and even like some of the businesses that aren't on Main Street and ask who would like to participate. Because if I can get a list of the businesses that would like to participate, then I can go to the school and say, hey, we have this idea in mind. Do you think your kids from XYZ grades would like to participate? And I mean, maybe we can have it set for different age groups. So like Main Street gets 1st to 5th grade, and then 5th to 8th grade is a different part of town, or even mixed. That way we have more than one age group participating, which I think would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it used to be elementary school, maybe. I don't remember, because I think I was in 5th grade and I got a window at Newberry. So I remember.
The only thing I remember doing when I was a kid for Halloween is the banks would do the Halloween drawing contest, which is very similar, but we didn't do anything with storefronts. But I like that idea. And I mean, like you said, it gets the community involved. So community business window contest, lighting contest for community, more bands, more bands. That's underlined, and that is also bolded. And another big thing that I want to happen is obviously Halloween coincides with harvest. So I would like to see something happen more of like a farmer's market, a harvest market. I think it's fantastic. Especially where we're in a state that, thrives on, potato sales. We have a ton of apple orchards around Millinocket. There's a ton in Lincoln. I think it's a great way to get some of these businesses to come back into Millinocket and sell their goods. So I would like to see a harvest market. Sarah?
I think we may be not positive of where this is going right yet, but our other AmeriCorps member, Barbara, is working, spearheading a farmers community market for at least if we do a couple of pop-ups this year, even if it's not a set in place thing all summer. And I think she talked about fall and then perhaps maybe even a winter Christmas type, pre-Christmas market.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to do one for fall anyway, because harvest is a big deal.
Right. So I think she's got that in the works, and she's got a few ideas going and some folks with a space and etc. So she might be able to connect with on that.
Let's do it right on Main Street.
Yeah, I think it is. She has the space approved by at Heritage Plaza.
Oh, awesome. Sweet.
They've given approval to use that for this year.
Okay, so my goal, I got to reach out to local businesses on Halloween / Harvest Festival. Okay, and find more bands. And I will also reach out to the high school or Granite Street. I'll reach out to Miss Peavy and see if she has any ideas on getting the kids involved. Miss Peavy. All right. Anything else? All right. And there's not really enough people here.
Reaching
Peter.
for,
Sorry.
I just want to make sure. So Louis, you were appointed to this committee at our last council meeting, right? Okay, so Matt, you, myself, and Louis should be, is that enough to take a vote on this recommendation for the?
I believe so. I was going to do that dead last.
Okay.
Lissa has sent me a statement. She agrees with all of the orders. She unfortunately could not be here. She has work until 4:40. She's out in 10 minutes. So she was unable to attend, but she agrees with the orders. She had a couple of spelling things that she wanted fixed, which I did before this meeting. But other than that, she's in agreement as well. So I don't know if we can take her official vote, but I will put it in the packet that she is in favor. But I'll do that dead last, which is going to be in just a minute. Speaking of which, let me see if this is the right one. Nope. Sorry, there's so many things for the 4th of July in this folder. Here it is. So very similar to the last packet. Just the front, committee name. It has both the vendor craft fair and the parade. So if we do take a vote, it'll be right here. Origins, it's the same basically as the one for the entertainment, except it talks about time and where it's going to be. That's the only different. Next is we're going to put it into action. So everything that we've worked on, we're gonna put it into action. But that's basically it. So let's take a vote. All those in favor of these 2 orders to push forward to the council, I say aye. Peter and Louis. Perfect. Okay, so I will send that to you, Peter, to go on the next council meeting's agenda. We don't have enough people here, obviously, to talk about next meeting time and agenda, so I will send a mass email out later to all the committee members about times. Sarah, does afternoon still work for you? Okay, perfect. It works for me too, good too. So perfect. That's all I got, unless anybody else has anything.
Good.
Awesome. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.